Welcome to the Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast. I'm Declan, the son.
And I'm Jane, the mom. Enjoy a drink with us while we tell you some wild stories of the brutal and bizarre variety. Please keep in mind some of our stories might be upsetting to young or sensitive ears.
This is the podcast where we talk about brutal crimes, bizarre occurrences, and get you drunk with cocktails themed around one of our stories. To lighten things up, we like to end our time with a chaser. Alrighty, Jane. What story do you have for us today?
So I will be telling you the brutal tale about Maximiliano Esparza and the fateful run-in that he had with two nuns. This is a hometown story as it happened right here in lovely Klamath Falls, Oregon. What story will you be telling us today, Declan? And what is the drink that you're bringing to us?
So today I have the bizarre story of the disappearance of Elisa Lam. And to go with that story, I chose the cocktail by the name Clover Club. It's got some weird measurements. I don't know what this guy was thinking, but it's 1 2/3 ounce gin, 5/6 ounce lemon juice, 2/3 ounce egg white, and 1/3 ounce raspberry syrup with a garnish of raspberries.
When I saw this recipe, I was like, did he not have like a normal measuring tool? So I eyeballed it because I wasn't about to try and figure out like where the 5/6 of something is on my measuring cup. So
Yeah, I don't have a measuring cup that breaks ounces down into quarters. So
or sixth for that
yeah.
matter. And I looked up another recipe because I was wondering some of the rest of the directions, and they were normal measurements, just so you know. So it's not all of the measurements were weird.
Yeah, I was gonna like pick one of those other ones because I saw one that was like 2 ounces of gin and like 1 ounce of lemon juice, and it was like more normal, but this
Yeah.
cocktail is specific to the story.
Okay. Well,
So let's give this a little taste test. I
okay.
went very light on my egg. I did less than 2/3 ounce because that just seems weird, but it's very frothy.
It is frothy. And
Like
I don't know. I made this a couple minutes ago, and now the froth is sitting all on the top and it's not mixed in. So I
gotta
don't know
just get
what
a
that
big
means.
gulp of eggs.
Oh, that's so gross. I'm trusting you on this with the egg white.
I don't taste the egg white too much. I taste a lot of gin.
I taste a lot of gin too. Oh, that is so strong. And I went to the store specifically to buy pasteurized egg whites because you can get them in a carton.
Mm-hmm.
And because I thought, well, maybe that'll be safer and bad things won't happen to me. And I did not read the entire label, and I bought egg product. And when I opened it, it was yellow. So I'm assuming there's egg yolks in there
Oh,
too. So I didn't get to use that.
don't tell me you bought just eggs.
No, I didn't.
Okay, good.
I don't know
That
what it
shit is
was.
gross.
I didn't buy it. I didn't end up using it. I ended up having to use one of my eggs from the refrigerator. So it's from a farm. It's not pasteurized. So if I get sick, I'm blaming it on you, man.
Okay. It was really hard to find a drink that went with this story, so I was grasping at straws.
I like the creaminess of the froth, but I think I could have used more raspberry syrup in mine because it's so ginny.
I cheated and I bought my raspberry syrup, so it's like something you'd get at Starbucks. Like
Okay.
the stuff they pour on the sides in their fancy drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably should have used something like that. I made my raspberry syrup and it's not super raspberry and not super sweet. Okay, so that might be a failed drink for me. I might vote
Our
that a
first
failure.
failed drink. Okay.
Yeah, that's not too bad for all the
Uh,
the episodes we've done, and this is the first
yeah,
failed one that I'm like, nope, don't need to do that again.
that's funny. Well, let me tell you the history behind this drink.
Okay.
The Clover Club can be traced back to the late 1800s and the Philadelphia Bellevue Stratford Hotel. This popular bar drew in all sorts of businessmen and travelers. The drink lost its popularity for a while before it was revived by Cecil Beaton in his famous cocktail books. And my connection between the cocktail and the hotel, the Cecil Hotel, is where Elisa Lam disappeared. And the person who brought this drink like back into popularity was named Cecil. So
Gotcha. Good
that's my
tie.
connection. It was
Good
very
connector.
hard to find a drink that connected to this story. Like I was trying to look for famous cocktails from the Cecil Hotel, but I don't think they have anything in any review book that says they're good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, mom. Let me tell you the story of Elisa Lam.
Okay. I am ready.
If you've ever been to LA, you've definitely seen some strange things happen. The streets, the bars, and even the elevators are subject to strange activities. Today's story involves very strange activity at the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. The Cecil Hotel was built in 1924 by William Banks Hanner. Hanner spent $1 million, roughly $17 million in today's money, to build this 700-room hotel with the intention of housing international businessmen.
Wow.
Dude, yeah, that's a lot of rooms and a
That is a
lot of
lot of
money.
rooms.
Due to the Great Depression, the area around the Cecil Hotel took a major financial hit and is now known as Skid Row.
I like that band. I'm guessing it's not the same thing though.
I don't think you want to go see this Skid Row.
I
Maybe you want
do
to go see
not.
the band, but not this
In
Skid Row.
in the original lineup, not the current one.
They've changed like bandmates.
Yeah, they did. They don't have the same lead singer, so it's not the same band in my opinion, but moving
Yeah,
on.
that's the most important part of the band, I think.
I
That and the
think
drummer.
so. Most bands. Yeah.
In the 1930s, 6 different suicides took place at the hotel.
Oh, that's
In
a
19,
lot.
yeah, a lot more than most hotels, I'd imagine.
I would think so. Now I want to know like the suicide rate for other hotels, weirdly.
You got to count Vegas out though. Vegas has an oddly high proportion because people
Well,
gamble their families like inheritance away.
that's true. That's true.
In 1944, Dorothy Jean Purcell woke up in the middle of the night with stomach pains. She went to the bathroom to avoid waking her sleeping husband and gave birth to a baby boy right on the bathroom floor. She had absolutely no idea that she was pregnant, which I find hard to believe.
I do as well.
If you're pregnant enough for a baby to come out, you got to be pretty pregnant.
Most people, it's pretty noticeable. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. For some reason, she thought the baby was deceased, so she decided to throw it out of the window of her hotel room where it sadly passed away.
Oh my gosh.
A
That's
lot of mental
terrible.
illness going on there. That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
That's so sad.
In 1962, 65-year-old George Gianni was killed by a woman jumping out of a ninth floor window. While suicides and other strange things have taken place at the Cecil, it also housed famous serial killer Richard Ramirez during his killing spree.
And I want to step back for just a second and go back. A
Okay.
guy was killed Because somebody jumped out of a window and landed on him, I presume.
Yes.
Oh my
George,
gosh.
he was just walking down the street right in front of the hotel, and some woman had decided to take her own life by jumping out of the ninth floor window and just so happened to land on top of him, killing them both.
I guess that's your fate coming and telling you it's really your time. I mean, what are the odds timing
At least
wise?
like yell cannonball or something, get people out of the way.
Cannonball. Yeah, well, yeah. That would be better than four,
Yeah, just jumping.
on a golf course.
While there are many strange cold cases from the Cecil Hotel, from Goldie Osgood, which you guys can look that up if you would like. It might end up becoming another uh brutal like part of an episode. But
Ooh.
from
Uh,
Goldie Osgood to the Black Dahlia, today I'm focusing on the bizarre case of 2013 college student Elisa Lam. Guest of the Cecil Hotel had complained about bad water pressure and bad tasting water.
I don't want oh, okay.
You already know where this is going. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maintenance
okay.
from the hotel made their way to the roof to check on the issue. When they opened the water tank, they were hit with a foul smell. And when they looked inside, they would see something they would never forget. Inside the water tower sat Elisa Lam. She was
Ugh.
naked, floating face up in the water. She had been dead for weeks now.
Oh, there's so many things wrong with that.
Showering, drinking, all the guests were drinking water that a
Oh,
dead body was sitting in.
you're brushing your teeth with that water. You're, oh, okay.
Yeah. Hotel
Okay.
management checked the security cameras when they were absolutely baffled and slightly horrified.
I think they should be more than slightly. Okay. Sure.
Well, for everyone watching, look up the pause the podcast or the video right now and go look up the Elisa Lam elevator video, and this will all make more sense. In the video, Elisa Lam is seen walking into the elevator at the Cecil. Once inside, she hides in the corner of the elevator, like kind of where the buttons are. She crouches down. She's seen like messing with the buttons. She quickly peeks out of the doors, checks the right and left of her before hiding back in the corner again. She does this for a few minutes before she steps out of the elevator to yell at someone or something in the hallway. While she's talking, the elevator door closes and immediately opens, but she was already gone.
Ooh,
Yeah, just it
weird.
it it seemed like someone from the outside was just pressing the button over and over again because the elevator wasn't moving up and it just kept opening and closing for like 3 or 4 cycles.
Oh,
Yeah.
did
On
they have
February,
any footage? Sorry, did they have any footage from the hallway?
they did not. They just had elevator footage.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. On February 19th, 2013, Santiago Lopez went to check on the water tank after reports of blackened colored water and foul
Oh,
smells. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Just imagine you
mm,
fill up your cup and it's just like
mm,
gray water.
nope, nope.
Ugh.
Oh,
That is when he found the body of Elisa Lam. There was no evidence of physical harm, sexual assault, or suicide. She had no drugs in her system and had a blood alcohol content of 0.02, which is less. It's like you smelled a glass of wine. The
wow.
main question at hand is how she got into the water tank. The tank she was found in was 8 feet tall, propped up on cylinder blocks, and the maintenance crew had to bring a ladder to even get access to it.
Oh,
Lamb's case went on to inspire an episode of Castle called Watershed.
eh. So
Yeah.
I just had a really dark thought.
What's that?
Well, our drink today, you could kind of think that it's dark and
Oh no.
discolored
Wait.
and there's foam on the top of it. I'm
Oh
sorry,
no.
everyone.
What how did you even connect that?
I
That's
don't
gross.
know. I don't know, but you can cut this part out if you don't want everyone to be grossed out like I just am.
Oh, yeah, we got a
Oh,
floater over here.
oh, stop. Oh,
Oh, gross.
that's awful. Just
Yeah, so
awful.
that's the story of Elisa Lamb. And if you ever are staying at a hotel anywhere and the water is not clear and tastes good and smells like water, please call maintenance.
Right. Don't
Please.
wait a couple of days.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, now I wonder like how many hotels have I stayed in where I always just assumed a hotel would not have a water tank. Like why would they have a water tank? You just get the city water and it's piped in from I don't know where the water comes in from, but I wouldn't think that there would be a tank of water
Well,
anywhere
if it
on the
was
property.
built in the 20s, maybe they had different
Oh, true,
like
but
plumbing
it's
systems.
yeah, why wouldn't you switch that over though? Eventually. I don't know.
The
I don't
hotels on
know.
Skid Row, I'm assuming they're not getting too many customers.
That's valid.
They probably don't have enough money to like renovate the hotel.
Good point. Good point.
Imagine you're staying there for like a week and then water's tasting bad as soon as you get there and the cops show up. You see six cop cars out front. Oh,
Ugh. And
so
then you're like,
gross.
what happened? I
Like,
wouldn't.
don't drink the
I
water.
don't think I would want to know. I think I would just want to leave and be
Oh,
done and be none the wiser.
you'd find out though, because it'd be
You
on the
would.
news everywhere, and
Oh,
you'd be
for
like,
sure.
wait, I think I was there at this time.
Yeah. But I don't think I would want to know. I think
I would.
knowing would be the
Blissful
traumatic
ignorance.
part.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, for sure.
All right, mom. Tell us what you got in store for us on the brutal side.
Okay. This story is coming to you from our small town, Klamath Falls, Oregon, and is about our small town, Klamath Falls, Oregon. So it always amazed me growing up here when you talk about other places to people in town, you say, "Oh, I went here." And if it's not something that's like a big city, Las Vegas or Los Angeles or Seattle, sometimes people don't know what you're talking about. And when I would go to when we lived down in California, people would ask where you're from. I would say, "Oh, it's a small town in Southern Oregon." And they're like, "Oh, where?" And you tell them Klamath Falls, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I've been through there." Like,
I, I
how do
have
you
experienced that too. Every time I meet someone, they either know exactly where it is and have driven through it, or they know someone who used to live there.
yeah, it's weird.
It's Klamath Falls is a cursed place.
I agree. And we might find out one of the reasons why right now.
Okay, perfect.
So, Klamath Falls is a small town in southern Oregon, about 17 miles north of the California border. On the outside, the town looks like a peaceful and quiet place. However, this town has a fairly high crime rate, especially for violent crimes. It actually ranks ninth in the state, and its crime rate is more than 27% above the national average. People that live in Klamath Falls probably don't find these statistics very surprising, but outsiders are usually shocked at the numbers. Because of the outward appearance, visitors might think they are safer than they really are. A prime and tragic example of this occurred in 2002 in the midnight hours on a public path to two devout Catholic women. Sister Helen Chaska, 53 years old, and Sister Linda Schoenhofen, 52 years old, were in Klamath Falls spreading the word of their church. Little side note right now, I'm gonna probably not say these names right, a couple of them, including that last one. Not sure how to pronounce Sister Linda's last name, so I
It's
apologize
okay.
if I got it wrong, but I'm doing my
I-
best.
I'm pretty sure every brutal story I've done has been out of the country, so I've fucked up all the names, but
Well,
it's all
this
right.
is in the country, and I'm still probably fucking up the name. So I apologize. I hope no one finds this disrespectful because it's not intended to be. The two nuns, Sister Helen and Sister Linda, were members of an Orthodox Catholic based church that were known to sell dolls or statues and religious literature in public places like grocery stores as part of their missionary endeavors. A little side note and tangent of interest about the church the nuns belonged to. I found this really interesting when I started looking into this case. The nuns were not affiliated with the Roman Catholic Church, but belonged to the a church known as the Tridentan Latin Rites Church, which was considered an Orthodox Catholic church, but was not affiliated with the Vatican. So I don't know much about religion. And hearing this story, everyone just said, oh, it was a Catholic nun. I didn't realize that there were different types of Catholic nuns, but here's some information about it.
Okay.
So, as I said, they belonged to this other church. The name of the church changed several times due to problems associated with the leader. So the actual name of the church at the time of the incident might have been different. There were several reports I read that had that name, the Tridentan Latin Rites, but there were others that had different names. So I don't really know for sure that that was the name. I went with the most commonly referenced name, and that was it. Um, the leader of the church was Francis K. Schuchart, and he was believed by many people to be a cult leader rather than a truly religious man. One woman who was previously a member of the church was quoted as stating that it was actually a cult. Schuchart belonged to Catholic churches in Washington state and was a high ranking administrator, but was removed from the church in the late 1960s when he rejected the Vatican. So, in the late 1960s, apparently the Vatican decided to relax some of their rules about what nuns were supposed to wear and how to perform ceremonies and things like that. And this guy didn't agree with it, so he basically said, I don't believe what the Vatican is doing, so they kind of kicked him out of the Catholic Church.
Mhm.
He later formed different Catholic based churches in the Pacific Northwest, but moved the locations around to different cities and states repeatedly. Like he was in Idaho at one point. He was planning to move the church into Canada and different parts of Washington. In 1984, the church was located in Washington state, and the leader, Schuchart, was accused of sexual assault by numerous individuals within his church, and others accused him of financial misconduct and drug use. After the
Mm,
accusations, he left Washington and moved his church to California.
true Christian man.
Right. Uh, a couple of years after moving to California, he was arrested on drug charges and possession of stolen property when the police raided his residence.
Damn.
Yeah. So somebody, I guess, tipped him off and said, this guy's got some stuff, and they raided it and arrested him. They eventually returned the property, and Schuchart agreed to enter drug rehab, and the charges were all dropped. The church
Okay.
eventually relocated. Huh?
Well, that's kind of on that note. Did you see the new bill that Chicago passed?
No.
Oh, well, they kind of made like a purge thing.
Oh, then I don't want to go there. No, thanks.
Yeah. Basically, if you didn't commit first degree murder, then you just get let out no bond.
Mm,
Like I second degree murder, like aggravated DUI, like all this shit is just you just get let out and released if you're in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, let's not go there.
yeah, that sounds scary. The church eventually relocated to Bellevue, Washington, and that was the location when the attacks occurred in Oregon. So that's my tangent over. Just thought it was a little interesting bit of information. But some of it does relate to why these nuns were doing the things that they were doing when they were doing them. So,
It's a weird little connection. The part of my history of my drink was the Bellevue Hotel.
oh, and they were in Bellevue, Washington.
Mhm.
We double connected. So fun. The nuns had been in Klamath Falls for a few days and were taking a walk on the bike path near the canal and the baseball stadium. So, because you know the town, um, it was right by Kiger Stadium.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the by the canal.
Yes. They were conducting walking prayers wearing traditional religious habits at 2 a.m. on Sunday, September 1st. Apparently, it's common practice for members of their church to spend time in the late night or early morning hours focused on prayer. So, doing a walking prayer at 2 a.m. was not uncommon practice for them. Might not have been
Strange.
uncommon for them, but it's kind of strange for most people to be out
Just
walking
on
the
that
bike
bike
path.
trail. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a
And
weird
that
bike path for anyone listening. It's very,
it's dark
yes,
for
no
one.
lights.
No, nothing. It literally goes through fields, and there's not even in that area, there's no homes nearby, there's no businesses nearby. It's dark, which is nice and peaceful. And you probably wouldn't expect to find anyone else on the path, but sadly, they ran into someone that we're going to talk about right now. While the nuns were,
Also,
Mhm.
you got that time limit,
Oh,
right?
yep, just saw it.
You can you finish your story in that time?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
While the nuns were saying the rosary during their walk, they encountered a man that was later identified as Maximiliano Esparza. Maximiliano Esparza arrived by train in Klamath Falls at the end of August 2002. He checked into the local rescue shelter under a false name and spent one night there. And
That's weird for the homeless to just go to Klamath.
well,
That's
I
a
don't
shitty
know.
place to be homeless. It
I
gets
wouldn't want to be homeless
really
here.
cold there.
Yes, but this was in August, so it was hot.
Only
Probably.
like 2 more months before it starts getting freezing.
Right. Um, Now his name in almost all of the articles was listed as Esparza. But when I looked him up on the offender website for people incarcerated, it was actually listed under another name, and Esparza was an alias. So I
Mm.
don't know if he changed it after or I don't know, but we're going to call him Esparza because that's what 99% of all the articles called him.
Mm.
So the next couple of days, he went about looking for work. He was able to find a temporary job working on the bleachers at a neighboring town's high school. On Saturday night, Esparza was riding a bicycle on the bike path when he crossed paths with the nuns. He attacked the women and proceeded to physically assault both of them by punching them numerous times. He then used the rosary beads they were wearing to choke them and subdue them while he raped each of them.
Do you know like
Very,
at what point on the bike path this took place? You said it was over
I
by Kaiser, right?
don't, I, everything I saw said it was between the canal and near Kiger Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah. Sister Helen died at the scene due to her injuries, and the rosary beads were left embedded in her neck. Sister Linda was able to walk back to their hotel and request help. She was taken to the hospital for treatment of her injuries, and she was able to provide a description of the suspect, which led to his arrest less than 24 hours later. Esparza was charged with over a dozen crimes, and the district attorney was considering seeking the death penalty. However, Esparza pled guilty, and the death penalty was dropped in favor of life in prison without the possibility of parole. He was convicted of murder, attempted murder, and rape. And he is still in prison. Yay.
Good. Hope
A
he got
little over uh, a year, a little over a year after the attacks, a local playground was developed and dedicated to Sister Helen. And a couple of her family members were able to be present at the dedication and thank the community for their support. And that is my brutal story about.
crazy. They should teach that at the history classes in the high schools in Klamath. I mean,
Well, it's pretty dark history. I think a lot of people just kind of want to think that it didn't, just put it out of their minds and make it something that is forgotten. And I mean, it's
that's
horribly
Klamath
tragic.
though. Like,
It
of course it
is.
took place there. That
Yeah. It just makes me wonder because of the outward appearance, because it's a small town, because it looks calm and nice on the outside, but the locals know this is a dangerous town. There's bad stuff that happens here. I mean, it's it's kind of nice that it wasn't a local that committed the crime, but locals commit crimes here a lot. That's why we have such a high crime rate. But
yeah, when for my senior project, which I think it's an Oregon thing, but in high school you have to do a senior project, and mine was going on a ride along and talking about like the police in Klamath Falls, and on my ride along there was a high speed chase. So that just tells you like what kind of crime goes on there.
right.
I got taken down by the canine unit and everything.
I would have loved to seen that.
Oh,
I want to
I've
see
got
that.
such good pictures of it. It like
Oh,
because the guy I was riding along with, he had to get his service rifle, the AR-15, and just like he was sitting on the hood watching the field where the guy ran off to, and I got to see the canine like take him out, and all the cops ran through the field and grabbed him. It was pretty
did
cool.
you did you get any pictures of the canine takedown?
No, I was kind of nervous. I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to just take pictures, but I could
Right.
have just
That's
said
a
it
good
was for a
point.
school project. But
Right.
on a side note, I also saw some dude get arrested at Safeway the other day.
So much fun.
Yeah,
And you're not here and you're in another small town. Well, not really small.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's fairly small for town wise, but it's not as small as Klamath Falls. But yeah, it was
No.
pretty funny. You could hear the guy screaming throughout the whole store while they were like pinned on him.
Ooh, so much fun.
Yeah.
So, Declan, why don't you lighten the mood with a happy little chaser for us today?
I wouldn't say my chaser is necessarily lighting the mood. I have another recommendation of something to watch. It's a brand new show on Hulu called The Patient with Steve Carell as the main character, which is kind of
Oh,
interesting. I haven't seen him in too many dramatic roles other than a war movie kind of, but yeah, he gets kidnapped. He's a therapist who gets kidnapped by one of his patients who likes to kill people, and he's trying to not kill people. So he's seeking therapy, but in the worst way.
I want to watch this show so badly, but I am waiting for it to all come out every episode so I can binge it hardcore and not have to wait. Because I'm betting based on the commercials I've seen for it that there's going to be some tense moments at the end where you're just waiting to see what happens, and then the episode's over and you have to wait. I hate cliffhangers. So I'm just going to wait until it all comes out.
Oh yeah, almost every episode ends on a cliffhanger.
I can't wait that long without that much anticipation and stress. No, I'm just going to wait.
I know I shouldn't have started it yet. I saw it like a couple months before it came out. They had some trailers out, and I saw the trailers, and I was like, oh, I really want to watch that. And then I just like a couple months later, I got distracted. I was like, damn, I can't find anything to watch. I've seen everything that looks good, and then I just thought of that. But it was like on episode 3, so I watched 3 episodes, and then I was hooked, and I was like, shit, I just gotta keep watching it every week now. I can't binge
I,
it anymore.
yeah, I hate that. I'm just going to wait. And I think I looked it up on IMDb. I think I'm going to have to wait until like November or something, which is so tragic, but
Shit.
I'll just watch other stuff.
Yeah, it's it's got me reeled in. But
Okay.
the time that they post it every week is super annoying. It's at 9 o'clock at night on Monday night.
Mm,
Yeah, who's staying up that late on Monday night?
not me. Not
Yeah,
me. I'm long sleep by then.
so you gotta either wait or stay up late. So
Right. Well, I
all
hate to
right.
tell you this, Declan, but back in the day, we weren't even able to binge those kind of things. You had to record it.
Oh, I remember watching Chuck on DVR every weekend. Or no, it was
Yes.
every week. Yeah, we used to have watching parties for like The Walking Dead. Like I wouldn't say watching parties because it was just us, but we all looked
Oh,
forward to that day of the week just because it's like Walking Dead's coming out this week or Chuck's coming
right.
out this week. Like,
That makes me think that our friends that we do most of the watch parties with, I got to see if they want to watch this and then we'll have a little, that'll be our new show.
oh yeah.
Because we used to have the Dexter parties and we don't
I
have anything anymore.
I think that's gonna be similar to the one Gypsy Rose show on Netflix where they just had one season. I can't see them stretching this out into
Oh,
more than
really?
one. Yeah.
Well, but it could still be at least one season good show to have a watch
Yeah.
party.
I'll
Okay.
let you know as soon as the finale comes out, and then you guys can have a watch party.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, but
Alrighty, Jane. Oh,
we do our watch parties as they come out and we wait like 3 or 4 weeks and then we store up 3 or 4 weeks and then we watch 3 or 4 episodes. Okay. 2 to 3 episodes, usually 2 episodes, because we get too busy talking that we can't watch more than that.
you got to
Because
invite him over earlier and get day drunk. That's what
that's
me and my
true.
friend do.
But then if we get day drunk, we want to go to sleep at 7 o'clock at night because we're old.
Well, only Red Bull and vodka then for the
Oh,
day drinking.
yuck. No thanks. No thanks.
Alrighty, Jane. What chaser do you have for us this week?
My chaser this week is some personal good news. I went to the doctor today and for I've been having these health issues off and on for months after we went to Mexico. And I'd had it off and on before. And they gave me a clean bill of health and they said, here's what's wrong. And you just have to take this medication, probably, hopefully, one time, and then it'll be all gone. And it's just a little bit of inflammation in my stomach. And then this medicine should make it go away. And if it does come back, I know what it is and I can get another dose of the meds and then treat it. And I won't have to go through all this testing again. So I'm
That's
pretty happy
nice.
about that.
Yeah. It's fairly rare from my experiences that doctors can actually help you and like tell you what's wrong and give you something that will help you.
That can be true. Yes, I was expecting them to say, "Oh, you have this chronic thing and you're going to have to take this pill for the rest of your life and it's
And
going to
you're
give
gonna
you
have to
all
come
these."
see us once a
Right.
month and do
Right.
in-person checkups and
Yeah. And you're going to have all the side effects from this medication that's not really going to treat it so well. And good luck treating those medication, those side effects. So I'm super happy that I finally got an answer. So yay.
Nice. Happy for you.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks for listening and supporting our podcast. We would love for you to follow us on your favorite podcast platform. And if you want to give us a 5-star rating, we would forever be grateful.
You can contact us at our email via thebrutal_and bizarre@gmail.com or on our Instagram at thebrutal_bizarre_boozy.